Hey everyone, it's Mr. Beast here. Today we're diving into a crazy topic. What happens if you eat these everyday things? You won't believe some of the effects. We're talking about stuff you see around your house all the time, things you'd never think to eat, but could. Stick around because some of these reactions are wild and you definitely don't want to try this at home. Let's get started! Alright, first up we've got toothpaste. We use it every day to keep our pearly whites sparkling clean. But what happens if you actually swallow a bunch of it? First off, let me tell you, it's gonna taste way worse going down than it does staying in your mouth. That minty freshness? Yeah, that's out the window. Now, a little bit of toothpaste probably won't kill you, but I'm talking about eating a whole tube here. That's when things get interesting. See, toothpaste has this stuff called fluoride in it, and while it's great for your teeth in small doses, too much fluoride can actually mess you up. We're talking nausea, vomiting, maybe even some serious stomach cramps, Phoebe. And trust me, you don't want to deal with that kind of stomach ache. It's like a whole army of squirrels decided to have a rave in your intestines. Not a fun time. So, next time you're brushing your teeth, remember to spit, don't swallow. Your stomach will thank you for it. Next up on our edible adventure, raw rice. Now, I love a good bowl of rice with my dinner, but have you ever wondered what happens if you chomp down on those hard little grains without cooking them first? Well, let me tell you, it's not pretty. First of all, your body's gonna have a real tough time breaking down those raw rice kernels. They're like tiny little rocks in your digestive system, and just like rocks, they ain't gonna digest easily. This can lead to some serious bloating, gas, and even some painful stomach cramps. But wait, there's more. Raw rice can also contain bacteria that can make you sick. We're talking about food poisoning here, folks. Nobody wants to spend their day hugging the toilet. Am I right? So remember, always cook your rice thoroughly before you eat it. Your stomach will thank you for it. Okay, moving on to something we all have lying around. A paper. It's what our homework is on, what we use to write notes, and what those annoying bills come printed on. But what if you decided to have a paper snack? Is it as harmless as it seems? Well, not exactly. Now, paper itself is mostly made from wood pulp, which isn't super digestible. It's not like eating a carrot or anything. Your body just doesn't have the right tools to break it down effectively. But small amounts probably won't do much, besides maybe give you a little extra fiber. However, eating large quantities of paper, that's a different story. We're talking potential blockages in your digestive tract, which is a fancy way of saying you might end up in the ER. And trust me, nobody wants to explain to a doctor that they ended up with a paper jam in their intestines. Alright, let's talk pasta, but not the delicious steaming bowls of goodness you're used to. I'm talking about those hard, crunchy sticks of uncooked pasta that you're definitely not supposed to eat. But what if you did? Just like with raw rice, your body's going to have a heck of a time trying to digest those uncooked noodles. They're tough, they're dense, and they absorb water like nobody's business. And where do you think all that water absorption is happening? Yep. Right in your belly. This can lead to some seriously uncomfortable bloating, gas and stomach cramps. It's like those uncooked noodles are throwing a pasta party in your stomach and everyone's invited. But here's the thing. Too much uncooked pasta can actually create a blockage in your digestive system. And that's a one-way ticket to Painville. Population U, so do yourself a favor and stick to cooked pasta, okay? Your stomach will thank you for it. All right, next up, we've got something that takes me back to my school days, chalk. Remember that dusty stuff teachers used to write on blackboards? Yeah, we're going there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who in their right mind would eat chalk? Well, believe it or not, some people actually do. Maybe they're craving that satisfying crunch, or maybe they just like the taste of dust. Whatever the reason, eating chalk is definitely not a good idea. First off, chalk is super drying. It's like sucking on a sponge that's been sitting in the Sahara Desert for a month. This can lead to a dry mouth, sore throat, and even constipation. And if you eat enough chalk, it can actually start to clump together in your digestive system. We're talking about potential blockages, folks, and that's never a good thing. So next time you're feeling nostalgic for your school days, maybe reach for a yearbook instead of a piece of chalk. Let's talk potatoes. those versatile tubers that can be mashed, fried, baked, and even turned into delicious chips. But what happens if you ditch the cooking process altogether and chomp down on a raw potato? Well, let me tell you, it's not as appetizing as it sounds. First of all, raw potatoes contain this compound called solanine, and it's not exactly our friend. In small amounts, it might not be a big deal, but eating a lot of raw potatoes can lead to some seriously unpleasant symptoms. We're talking nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, the works. And if you're really unlucky, you might even experience some neurological problems like headaches, dizziness, and even hallucinations. Not exactly the kind of trip you want to take. So remember, cook those potatoes thoroughly before you eat them. All right, let's dive into the sudsy world of soap. We use it to keep ourselves clean and smelling fresh, but what happens if you accidentally, or intentionally, I don't judge, take a bite of that slippery bar? Well, let's just say it's not going to be pretty. First of all, soap is designed to break down grease and grime, and guess what? Your insides are coated with a delicate layer of mucus that helps protect them. Soap doesn't discriminate. It's going to go after that mucus like it's nobody's business. This can lead to irritation, inflammation, and even some pretty nasty stomach cramps. And that's not all. Soap can also mess with the balance of good bacteria in your gut, which can lead to, you guessed it, diarrhea. So do yourself a favor and keep the soap where it belongs, in the shower or by the sink. Your insides will thank you for it. All right, let's talk about something that's probably tempted you at some point in your life. Glue. Whether it was that white school glue or the colorful, glittery kind, there's something strangely fascinating about this sticky substance. But what if you decided to take your curiosity to the next level and actually eat some glue? Well, let's just say it's not going to end well. First of all, most glues are made with chemicals that are toxic to humans. These chemicals can cause all sorts of nasty side effects, from nausea and vomiting to headaches and dizziness, and in severe cases, they can even damage your organs. So, yeah, definitely not something you want to be putting in your body. But even if you somehow manage to get your hands on some non-toxic glue, it's still not a good idea to eat it. Glue is designed to stick things together, and that includes the inside of your digestive system. Let's talk about raw eggs. Some people swear by them, adding them to smoothies or chugging them down for a protein boost. But is it actually safe to eat raw eggs, or are you just playing Russian roulette with your digestive system? Well, the answer is a little complicated. Raw eggs can contain a bacteria called Salmonella, which can cause food poisoning. We're talking about cramps, diarrhea, fever. The whole 9 yards. Not exactly the kind of breakfast you want to wake up to. Now, the risk of salmonella contamination varies depending on where you get your eggs from. Eggs from the grocery store are typically pasteurized, which means they've been heated to kill off any harmful bacteria. But even then, there's still a small risk of contamination. So if you're going to eat raw eggs, it's best to err on the side of caution and buy them from a reputable source. And finally, let's end our culinary journey with something that's a staple in many childhoods: Play-Doh, that colorful, salty dough that we used to mold into all sorts of creations. But what if you decided to take a trip down memory lane and actually eat some Play-Doh? Well, let's just say it's not going to be a pleasant experience. First of all, Play-Doh is super salty, like way saltier than those potato chips you love. Eating too much salt can lead to dehydration, which can cause all sorts of problems like headaches, dizziness, and even seizures. And that's not all. Play-Doh also contains other ingredients that aren't meant to be eaten, like wheat flour, petroleum distillates, and even borax. Yeah, the stuff you use to kill ants, not exactly the kind of ingredients you want in your digestive system. So yeah, maybe stick to playing with Play-Doh instead of eating it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let me know in the comments what other crazy topics you want me to cover next. See you in the next one.